Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. So we are playing episode 18 of Lancer. Last week we finished our mission, which was the underwater mission, using that underwater map, which was a holdout. I think that was the first holdout we played. That finished quite successfully for us, I felt. I thought that flowed quite quickly. Obviously, there's a certain point where you hit a level. We were level LL4 at that stage, that you actually find things a bit easier. So we have upgraded both Viking and Marquis. I took an additional license level in the Vlad for Marquis and an additional license level in the Morning Cloak for Viking. Viking also increased their trigger word and so got act unseen or unheard, i.e. sneaking, because we did that sneaking in the undersea base, so I thought that constituted that. And Marquis got apply fists to face because we had that hand-to-hand, that combat situation with the guard in that base, so I thought that made sense with those. Viking got one rank in leader, but I decided that as Viking and Marquis have been working together for long enough now, that we could constitute Viking being our primary character, taking a rank in leader as a talent. What that does is it gives Viking 3 leadership dice, and once per turn, as a free action, Viking can give an order or an instruction to somebody else, an ally, and if that person does and then gives them a dice, so we'll get some special dice, we'll probably use those orange ones that I got from Tabletop Con last year. Yeah, last year. And that means that then Marquis, if Marquis does the thing that they were asked to do, they can use that dice as an accuracy die. And we also, because of the extra rank in Vlad, rank 2 in a frame means that you can then get the frame. And no, that wasn't with Vlad, that was the Morning Cloak. And so Viking now has This Is Nothing, which is Viking's Morning Cloak frame. Where you can, I'll put up the, I think I've got a few that I need to put up, but I'll put up the sheet for that, so you can check that on my website, and you can join the newsletter whilst you're there. I send out a newsletter on Saturdays where I talk about stuff that's going on and my thoughts, normally around role-playing and various other things, but that goes out on a Saturday, and there's some additional information about various other things that are going on within the world of Hollowponds Solo Sagas. So the Morning Cloak is quite an interesting frame if you want to take a look at it. It's got a bit of teleporting, a bit of helping it go invisible. There's a few things that we might be able to play off for Viking if we get enough time, which I'm hoping to do another mission, which I'll talk about after I finish talking about these. So Marquis took, as I said, a second rank in Vlad, which means that Marquis gets access to the Vlad frame. So Marquis has Golden Hero. Did anyone play Golden Heroes? It was a UK role-playing game for superheroes. If I can get hold of it, we might see if we can solo that. I used to really enjoy Golden Heroes as a framework. I think it became Squadron UK. I think Golden Heroes, because of licensing, became Squadron UK. If you remember it, let me know. That's if you watch this. So we have a rank 2 in Vlad, which is, but it's quite cool actually. It's very good for close-up stuff because anyone who physically attacks you within range 3 takes damage, armor-piercing damage. Basically, the Vlad is covered in spikes and is quite an aggressive frame. So Marquis has that. We have he's still got the same chain axe and the sword, but we took the impaler gun, which I think is from the Vlad, because that will then immobilize things, and the Vlad frame, if you immobilize something, it becomes shredded, which means that some of those things with armor, we can then strip them down a bit faster. Beyond that, there's nothing. Oh, he took the Caltrop launcher, which I think is also from the Vlad. That's about it really. That's all the only real differences within Marquis. But they are both now license level 5, which means we're creeping our way in. I think license level 5 means that, I'll quickly check that they're now would be fighting tier 2 enemy. And the answer to that is yes. They are now on tier 2 enemy. So what we're going to try and do this session, it'll be quick because in about 40 minutes, someone's going to come and assess for the move cube to see whether there's space out the front of the gaff to put the move cube and put stuff. I'm pretty sure they can, but they're going to come and do that assessment. So I'm going to need to have this done by then because we might have to like move stuff around or something so they can get that, and then they give these big sheets of plastic and we'll know how big it is and we can do a test pack. Anyway, so I don't have that much time. So all we're going to do in this session is we have returned back to the resistance base and we're going to assess it. We're going to sort of sniff around and see if we can get another mission. Now, we don't know what that mission is because we of course roll the mission based on, and I'll keep selling this because it could sell more copies, the lancerrpg Game Master Emulator and GM Helper is what we will use to roll the mission. And just to clarify, so I'm going to try something, which is I'm going to try for the point crawl, which I might rename to let it make it a bit more obvious that this is a solo adventure. For the point crawl and for the GME, I might try and find, so what I can tell you now, I used AI art made by Sora for both of these, which it's not as easy as you think it is. You have to basically really do, and I've also put it into Photoshop and I've cleaned stuff up and I've resized stuff and I've tweaked stuff. But I think some of you people out there take offense to AI art, which is a whole different debate, which we won't be having here. But I might try and replace the art in both those products with not AI produced art, although mech based art, like with mechs, the AI stuff is, in general, it seems to be easier to get hold of than stuff drawn by someone, unless you have money to pay, which I don't have money to pay. So it's trying to find stock or open source art or really low price art that I can get hold of, which works. And there's much more of that in fantasy stuff, fantasy or normal sci-fi rather than mech sci-fi. Anyway, enough of my nonsense. But we will be using, of course, the lancerrpg book, the RPG Game Master Emulator, to roll our mission. So if the mission will extend beyond the time I have before all of the miniatures, I'm going to keep the miniatures. I've decided I'm going to keep the miniatures and we will play this again when the move cube gets to Belgium. And we don't have enough time to play through the mission. What we'll do is I will record multiple sessions in 1 week, but I'll cut those and then I'll push those out over several weeks to complete the story for the mission, because I'd like to finish it off, but that might just mean I'm going to have a huge quantity of editing to do, but I'll do the recording in a tighter time frame so as we can get that story finished and I can get everything into the box and then on a boat on the way to Belgium. So Marquis and Viking will have returned back to the resistance base. Now, one of the first things we wanted to do, I remember because I got the notes, one of the first things we wanted to do was we wanted to work out, also you'll notice that the dice camera looks a bit different. I normally have a big tripod and I've decided that I'm going to start using the smaller stuff because this can all go into a suitcase. I'm also going to, because that tripod that I used to put that camera on is really quite heavy, so that's going to have to go into a box. I'm going to have to find a solution for that as well, but I can't be bothered dealing with that today. But this one is going to be slightly different, the dice cam, this one, slightly different for a bit because I'm using a small tripod that I got for free. So we need to know, as I chop and change, we need to know why Harrison Armory, so we've said that they're harvesting something. They've found something in this sector of space which benefits them. We said that they were in the oceans because they were harvesting something. Now, we got some data that we have sent across to the Resistance from that ocean base. Now, what we now want to know is what might it be that Harrison Armories is actually doing here. So we have our verb table, which is on page 13 of the GME, the Lancer GME. We've got some verb tables and we've also got some specific sort of thematic prompt tables. We're going to roll a couple of them and see if we can get some values out and we can come up with a reason why Harrison Armories is here. So let's have a verb. Can you see that? 21? We've got observe, 45, escape. All right, observe, escape. Now we've got a planetary surface table and an underwater operations. I'm going to see about the underwater operations and the planetary one. Blue is underwater operations. Blue is an 8. Leviathan. And 6 for planetary surface. Armor shielding storm. Armor shredding storm. Right. Okay, so we've got observe, escape, Leviathan, armor shredding. So we are going to say, so this is weapons. So armor piercing. So that rings, so the armor piercing stuff for the Vlad, because a lot of armor piercing seems to be relatively rare in this, and it doesn't seem to do a lot of damage when it armor piercing. So let's say that this is a defense mechanism that many of the animals in this area seem to have, and it seems to be quite common, and it seems that Harrison Armory is doing gene research, and they have found that there is a common genome in a lot of the animals and the wildlife here. This is suggesting, as I'm making all this, observe. So they're still in an observation. So escape. So escape. Okay. So I'll steal from X-Force. So there was some elders. Elders aliens were here, and there are some ruins. Okay. So then we can have a fight in some ruins of old alien technology. And it shows that they did DNA altering. I'm going to have to write these up, Nita, so as when we get back to Belgium, I'm going to be able to know what's going on. So there were some elders, and they used to be in this area of this here, as in this sector. And in ruins, they have found old alien DNA altering or DNA modifying. They modified DNA. And that went wrong, which meant that a lot of the animals seem to be able to strip through. Oh, if we fight a monstrosity, we can make it armor piercing. The animals seem to strip through modern armor. And so Harrison Armories is hoping to exploit this for a armor shedding modifier to weapons. And when they were in the ocean planet where we were, they were studying a Leviathan that exhibited this ability strongly. So there we had an example of I rolled 2 verbs, 2 thematic prompts, and from the 2 verbs and the 2 thematic prompts, I was then able to build out that story element. So you don't have to follow it via that mythic way. You can just do that. So we now have basically a story part that we have found. So we can flavor, we can bias all of our mission roles from this point on with this point here. So we now have got this information. So we've gone back. Marquis and Viking have been called to speak to, was it Savannah? AI core, run, yeah, Savannah. I think Savannah is the name of the rogue NHP, the unshackled NHP that is running the resistance. That is, and then we had Ada Spire. Ada Spire is the researcher, isn't it? So we've got Savannah. So we are called to speak to Savannah, which isn't really going anywhere. Maybe we're going to a virtual room. So we go into a virtual space. Savannah, and it's in the savannah, and there is just a disembodied voice which speaks to Viking and Marquis. Thank you for your assistance in the last mission. The data you have retrieved for us has been very beneficial. We were able to glean what Harrison Armory is endeavouring to do in our sector of space and why they want to stop the independent mining and activities that are occurring here. The majority, also why we have, I think, did we fight a monstrosity? I don't think we have fought a monstrosity here. If we can fight a monstrosity in the next mission chain, that would be cool. Oh, maybe we will. Oh, there's an idea. Okay. The indigenous life in this sector seems to have a common trend running through it. The DNA, and then it tells the whole of that story, and Viking and Marquis are flabbergasted by this. They probably won't return back to Waypoint Theta at this point. It seems that them returning to Waypoint Theta is a bit boring when it comes to this. And so we will have, so they will be told this information that we know about, because we just went through it. I won't go through it a second time just using a Savannah voice. But imagine I did. Imagine I did some really brilliant acting, real great voice acting, so much so that someone should actually give me a job for it, which I'm considering maybe doing a show reel with voice acting stuff. You know, what can it hurt? You stick it on some websites, and if someone gives you a gig, it's cool. If they don't, they don't. But there's probably more to it than that. It can't be that easy, can it? We won't bother doing that. But anyway, so it explains it all out. Just imagine I did a really good job of it. There you go. And they will then go to the bar, or they'll go have a drink. So it's a little sort of like one of those little garage type bars. There's some people sprung up over that time that we weren't meant to be congregating and having drinks in garage type bars, where they're just like in cans. But Marquis and Viking will go. Viking has got, is it Viking's left arm? Left arm is mechanical. Viking is keeping, because he lost his arm at the end of the point crawl. I think he lost his arm at the end of the point crawl, didn't he? I should put it in CompCon. Oh, he left arm, yes. He lost his left arm. I haven't put it into his character sheet for CompCon. I should put that in character sheet for CompCon. So we now know why that is. So they're going to go to the Resistance Bar. Let's see what happens at the Resistance Bar. We'll just use the tables from the RPG, from the GME, the Lancer GME. We've got 24. Child Genius from SSC is buying rounds and asking disturbing questions about your mech's loadout. They pull apart your design and make some suggestions for changes. Until your next full repair, you are immune to the slowed condition. Oh, okay. So we spend the evening discussing what's going on. There's this kid. We're getting a bit drunk. Who's going to get that? Marquis or Viking? Marquis probably is better to be immune to slow. Because of the running around and slaughtering things. Marquis's Vlad is slower than his Blackbeard was. It's speed 6. Mind you, now Viking is also speed 6. So immune to slow till next full rest. Full repair, full rest. It's because of the dagger heart. So we spend the evening, we're chatting to this child. Let's give the child, what's the child genius's name? I don't think I did the name table for this. Nay. All right. Where's our Lancer book? Connor. There we go. Child Genius Connor. We'll bring them back with the Vlad design. Child Genius Connor helped us with the Vlad design. And then we will wander around in a drunkeny bit, the concourse, 61, oh no, it's D20 for this, 5, an autonomous cleaning drone with mild sapience will gossip for lubricant and lost mech parts. All right, so it will come up, bump into us, and we'll start to talk to it, and we're going to get corporate rumour. Blues is the corporation. 20. Cybernetics. I don't know if we've rolled our 3. Oh, have we rolled our? Oh no, we did, didn't we? We've got the resistance. We'll chuck this one in as well. Polyvector, and what's 14? They're piloting a universal basic income trial for all Lancer pilots. I mean, strictly speaking, I don't think I thought that one through. I think that was my wishful thinking that universal basic income would become an actual thing. Because in this post-scarcity environment, we don't really need to worry about basic income, but it depends probably where it is. because we have got, but the problem is also that, so it might be, so the cybernetics, maybe it's something to do with the cybernetics. Maybe we can actually have that. So what were they called? They were called polyvector. Maybe polyvector, because we have got, and they do cybernetics, we have got Viking's arm. Maybe we can, after this mission, we can do, so i.e. next season, we can do something about Viking's arm. Now you can grow body parts, because this is basically far, far future, where there is, but we're out on the fringes. So maybe being out on the fringes, people still, there is still the concept of income, and that would still be a thing, because it is out on the fringes, and not everywhere is the same as the core. Anyway, let's roll our mission. Let's see what, and now this is a tier 2. We are now tier 2, so who we fight is going to be tier 2. So first off, we will have, how long have we got? How long have I got until the move cube guy turns up? A while. Let's see what tier our mission is. 19, this is a hard one. 19 is elite level. It's an elite level mission. So we're given an elite level mission, which we roll a d20 and we look at our elite level mission breakdown. 7 is 3 combat missions, 2 skill tasks, or 1 tier +1 combat mission. Well, 3. This is what I was talking about. So if we've got 3 combat missions and 2 skill missions, that's going to take me a while, isn't it? So I will record those. We'll do those. Probably I'll do a massive amount of recording next week, but that is a huge recording because I've also got the how-to video that I'm going to be recording next week as well. Is that right? I do, yeah. I'm thinking of doing one on villains. Get tips on building an interesting villain from my writing stuff I've been thinking about. Anyway, 3 combat missions, 2 skill tasks. We'll roll the skill tasks now. We've got 2 3s. What are they come as? Covert, infiltration, or extraction. So we could be finding out about this AP stuff a bit more. Now 2 3s is a bit boring, so let's re-roll 1. And a 4, mechanical repairs or jury rigging. Okay, these are the skill tasks. All right, now let's do our combat missions. Combat mission 1. Combat mission 1, D20 is the mission type. It is a 15, which is a holdout. Might do that near the end. So if the holdout mission is at the end, then we would then be able to say whatever we've done, we then need to hold that position for a while. So we'll leave that, so that might be, so we've got 1 which is a holdout mission. I don't think we need to really further that any further because the environment, the battlefield is going to be all different. I'm thinking ruins. It all depends what comes out for the other ones. We have a second mission, we've got a 10 extraction, okay. Well that then infers, so we've got an extract, we extract something to the holdout where we need to hold out for being collected. All right, maybe, maybe it's a sample animal. And we've got 14 gauntlet, 3. This is going to be tough on us because a gauntlet mission. So basically what it is, we drop, we do the mission types, and then we have to try and get out. So let's think, what have we got? We've got a gauntlet, which we might do first. Then that gets us into an area where we can do the covert skill. Covert skill 1. And then we've got the extraction. We've got a mechanical repair. We could do the mechanical repair between, or we could go straight from the extraction to the holdout. And then we've got, after the holdout, we have the mech repair. We have the mechanical repair skill challenge, which may be something to do with, as it comes down, getting whatever we've got onto a craft and getting it out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a big operation. That is almost our point crawl. All right, so what it means is is first off, we have our gauntlet mission, which we would play next session. Reminding you what a gauntlet mission is. Oh, we'll roll the gauntlet is are usually done under duress or when no other options are available, and they usually take place in unfriendly territory. Gauntlet missions require PCs to move through a dangerous area to secure a position. Yeah, okay. So that is at the end of the 8th round, there are more PCs inside the control zone than there are enemy characters. Victory for them is at the end of the 6th round. There are at least as many enemy characters inside, so we need to hold that area. Control zone, enemy forces should be similar size to a normal encounter, so equals. So if we can slaughter them all, then we've held it. We can infiltrate in, then we can get at the thing, we can extract out. We've got the extract out, then we've got the hold out, and then we've got the mechanical repair. Okay. So next session we will run a gauntlet mission. Let's see what our environment is. Let's roll environment. D20 for environment. 19. Sinking world. The surface of this world is covered in fine sand or thick mud. Mechs that move 1 space or less during their turn are slowed. Slowed mechs that move 1 space or less are immobilized and start sinking, eventually becoming completely engulfed. This lasts until an affected mech, this lasts until an affected mech or one adjacent to it succeeds on a hull save as a full action. All right. It is a sinking world, so it's like a dune world, a sandy dune world. So if we can immobilize one of the mechs and stop it like an opponent mech, then it will then start to slow. It will be slowed, and then it will start to then it will sink basically. If we can immobilize it so it doesn't move, or it moves 1 space or less, or we knock it prone so it can't move, then we might have a way to deal with them. Okay, so it's a sinking world. So it's a sand. It's like a dune desert world, and the thing we need to get is like a giant worm which has massive AP properties. Okay. I think that's all right. That sounds all right. So this basically is how you do it. And then we will leave it at that. I think that is that, really. Yes. Thank you very much. We will attempt to set up a table. It will be, next week I'll just do lots of these. And then, so I'll have the same t-shirt, all those videos. And then I'll release them out, normal sort of cadence going forwards. I think that'll work. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, do consider subscribing. There is more of these, and I will show you how I will solo Lancer, as I've been showing you over the last 18 episodes. And so you can attempt to do it yourself too. Thank you so much to the Adventurers Guild for all of your support in producing these videos. I will see you next week, where as the weeks go by, you will see me getting increasingly tired because I'll be cramming all of this into one big long session. Speak to you soon.